Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair. Oh, God.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aww. Why is this the standard? Is this something that we're taught as children? Something that is pushed onto us by society?
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl.
The difference between these two clips is that in the first, the older kids have already been influenced by the stereotypes from society, whereas the younger kids have not had these influences yet.
Hi, my name is Nikki Sandersong.
And I'm Hannah Lemons.
And I'm Katelyn Doemel.
Our documentary is on gender roles and the effect that they have on children. We chose this documentary because we feel at this point in our lives it has had a huge impact on who we are and what we do.
We hope this documentary sheds light on gender role in society and specifically the impact they have on younger generations.
During this, we will be using interviews from JHS teachers, video clips, and other resources to help show why this is an important topic.
The working world is one of the biggest places to find representations of gender influence, not just in regard to the difference in pay, but in regards to the difference in treatment within the workplace, such as paid leave or lack thereof, expectations of work ethic, and lack of support. 100 years ago, the first female congresswoman was elected into office, Jeannette Rankin. She was quoted as saying, "I may be the first woman Congress member, but I won't be the last." While we've made progress since then, it is clear that there is still gender effects within the workplace.
Little boys and little girls, when they're 7 years old, an equal number want to be president of the United States when they grow up. But then you ask the same question when they're 15, and you see this massive gap emerging.
Have there been any gender stereotypes that have affected your work?
I'd say yes. I have been in 2 careers, both non-traditional for females.
Mm-hmm.
So being in law enforcement, being an Ohio State trooper, when I was commissioned as a trooper at 21 years old, there were 18 women troopers in the state of Ohio. There are 1,200 troopers.
Wow.
So 18 of us. And when I left that career and got into education, of course, being a teacher is not, to be a woman or a man is not, actually it's more to be a male teacher. You find far fewer of them than you do females.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as being our middle school principal and high school principal, in the history of Jackson schools, I was the first middle school female principal and the first female principal. And still, when I go to statewide organizational meetings, especially at the high school level, it is a sea of men. There are not many women that hold that role, and certainly not at a school the size of Jackson.
Right.
Gender norms are a set of rules or ideas about how each gender should behave. They are not based in biology, but instead determined by a culture. For example, women are not better than men at doing housework, but often they are expected to perform those tasks. It is important to remember that gender norms can be very different from culture to culture. What may be acceptable behavior for a male in one culture may not be acceptable in another.
Common stereotypes associated with both genders involve women being nurses, while men associate themselves with the title of doctor. Men excel at sports such as football, baseball, and basketball and get paid immense amount of money for it, while women are weaker and either don't participate or stick to strictly female sports such as cheerleading, dance, and gymnastics. Men can't cook, and women are expected to have dinner on the table at 5 p.m., wearing their pink dress, while the men walk in a blue suit.
Do you personally try and surround your kid with both gender typical environments?
Yeah, there are no sides in our house, really, and because there shouldn't be. It should be based off of interest. And so, does she love princesses and dolls more than I did growing up? Absolutely. But at the same time, she loves Star Wars. She loves digging in the dirt. We find worms. She, saves spiders with me. She has a dead bug collection. She has a rock collection, and she's always been interested in rocks and stones. And so do I think in terms of, oh, that's too girly, only when I feel like it's reductive or if it's derogatory. So like I couldn't stand for little kids, little girls, like daddy's princess. Like, I'm sorry, you're more than that. Or little things on their booties, like cutie pie, you know, or diva in training. Like all things that really don't reach to a kid's potential. And if I had a son, it would be the same way. Like, my son would not be wearing like mama's boy shirts.
Stop crying.
Stop with the tears.
Don't cry. Pick yourself up.
Stop with the emotions.
Be a man. Be a man.
The three most destructive words that every man receives when he's a boy is when he's told to be a man.
In good times, guys are like really close to each other, but when things get a little bit worse, you're on your own.
From middle school, I had 4 really close friends. Once I kind of went into high school, I struggle finding people I can talk to because I feel like I'm not supposed to get help.
They really buy into a culture that doesn't value what we've feminized. If we're in a culture that doesn't value caring, doesn't value relationships, doesn't value empathy, you are going to have boys and girls, men and women go crazy.
Girls get the message from very early on that what's most important is how they look, that their value, their worth, depends on that. And boys get the message that this is what's important about girls. We get it from advertising, we get it from films, we get it from television shows, video games, everywhere we look. So no matter what else a woman does, no matter what else her achievements, their value still depends on how they look.
There is no appreciation for women intellectuals. It's all about the body, not about the brain.
The fact that media are so limiting and so derogatory to the most powerful women in the country, then what does it say about media's ability to take any woman in America seriously?
You get a woman in the Oval Office, most powerful person in the world, what's the downside?
You mean besides the PMS and the mood swings?
The effect is primarily subconscious. It is very harmful, but for the most part, we're not really aware of that.
As a culture, women are brought up to just be fundamentally insecure.
I remember 5th grade, I was worrying about my weight, and now I'm in 9th grade, I'm still worrying about my weight.
I have like close friends that like in between like break periods, they will go to the bathroom and put on like 10 pounds of makeup, you know, and you're at school to learn.
We're socializing boys to believe that being a man means being powerful and in control. Ooh la la. Being smarter than women or better than women, or our needs get met first in relationships with women, that's not genetically predestined, that's learned behavior.
Every parent wants their son or daughter to be happy, but in research that was published in the New York Times, it shows that parents more so want their son to be intelligent and their daughter to be skinny or pretty. Based on Google searches, it showed that for every 17 times a girl was asked if they were overweight, it was only 10 for boys, whereas in reality, boys have a 9% more likely chance to be overweight than a girl does. Whereas with boys, for every 25 inquiries about if their son is gifted or intelligent, there's only 10 for girls. But in reality, it is more likely for a girl to be in a gifted program by 11%. This research shows the varying gender stereotypes that affect children today. While parents are usually innocent in their inquiries, this affects most kids because they do understand that their parents want them to be something that they possibly are not, and this can have a negative impact on children.
These influences come from many parts of our society that are ingrained into our heads. Many parts of our society tell us that men are supposed to be smart and have high level of education. This isn't always the case. Many times, parents play a role into this by labeling their kids the athletic one, the pretty one, the smart one, and kids play into this because it is what they feel is necessary of them. This leaves kids feeling trapped into being just one thing. These stereotypes hinder children's ability to grow as a person and discover different things about themselves, even if it was not the intention of the parent.
Were there any experiences, I guess, that you had where you felt that your gender had influenced decisions made by you, decisions made by others in association with you, whether it be a job, whether it be parenting styles, anything like that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think
gender plays a role all the time. I think growing up, one thing that our parents did, and I don't know if they made a conscious choice to do it, but we were all labeled pretty early on. So my sister was the beautiful one, and I was the smart one. My brother was the athletic one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by doing that, it does confine you to that label and made it hard to break out. I mean, I just knew that I was expected to be the smart one. So being, number one or number two in my class was not an option. And so that's one thing that we're trying to be really careful of in our parenting, is that obviously whatever their strengths are, we want to celebrate those and not box them in.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I knew I wanted to be a teacher, I think everyone, that made sense. And I think that I have a lot more support than some of my friends did who went to be, a doctor, or, I'll have people say to me all the time, well, if you're going to work, at least it's as a teacher so that you can go home to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
But, when I had kids, a lot of people asked, will you be, staying at home? And I just wonder, my male colleagues, was the same thing, asked of that, with the expectation that you would give up your career and stay at home. So that's one thing that definitely, I think, depends on the gender.
Have you ever heard that, within your own family, yes, you were the smart one, and yes, they knew you could do it, but then outwardly, like within the community, oh, she's smart for a girl or anything like that? Was there just strictly the expectation of you as the smart one, or was it you're the smart one for a girl for your situation?
I don't know if it was so much for a girl, but there was, I had several people say to me that it was a shame that I was wasting my intelligence on going to a local college and just being a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
It was, if you're going to be smart, why are you not using it for a more worthwhile profession or career, or, going to an Ivy League school?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a fellow student who, when he heard that I was in the competition for the 1 or 2 spot, just was completely shocked, because we had been tracking our GPAs, and apparently he had lost sight. And I got the impression when he was saying how shocked that he was, that he wasn't expecting it. I think because, I was people describe me as bubbly, as a bubbly girl, I don't think that he viewed me as actual.
So it was very much like what you were trying to avoid with your children, of you can only have this one strict personality trait and stick with that.
Right.
The only way we are going to see change in these stereotypes is if we change the way society thinks. This might seem like a large goal, but in reality, it only takes regular people like you and me to decide not to follow what other people have decided is acceptable for us based on our gender. We need to have more people grow up and allow their children to be who they want, and not influence them to be something because they think that's what is right. Every time one person defies society and does what they love and doesn't follow the standards set, there's a small step accomplished towards these influences being diminished and working towards not having these stereotypes as part of the world we live in.
What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swing like a girl?
Keep doing it because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. Doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that is not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?
Thank you for watching our documentary. We hope that this has helped shed light on such a prevalent topic in our society.
We appreciate the efforts of all the teachers who allowed us to interview them on our topic, and we hope that seeing members of our own community address this topic makes it more relevant and shows that it's not something that affects society as a whole, but is prevalent in our own community.
As you can see from our documentary, you can tell that our topic has been affecting people for centuries, and it will continue to affect people unless we as a society can change our mindset that has been programmed into us.
You're disgusting.
Oh, you're recording, okay.
Hi, my name is Nikki Sandersong.
And I'm Hannah Lemons. And I'm Katelyn Doemel.
And our documentary is on gender roles and the effect they have on children. Again.
Ready? I forget my words.
Thank you.
Okay.
Same thing. Ready? Trial run. Rehearsal dinner.
You're
Ready?
off to the side though. Look at your face. You're half of it.
Okay, as long as we don't go over 2 minutes.